It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Yisro. The question of the week is, how can one overcome the feelings of being in exile and preparing for God to take us out of this exile? In this week's Torah portion, Parshat Yisro, we are studying the famous, profound story where God comes down on Mount Sinai and gives the Jewish people the 10 Commandments. The famous of all is the first one, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am God, your God. And the pasuk continues and says, Asher hotzosicha me'eretz Mitzrayim, that I have taken you out of the land of Egypt. And the question that's asked is, God took us out of the land of Egypt. That is great. Beautiful miracle. That saved us. But God could have said something better and bigger and more profound. Why am I God, your God? Because I created the whole world. You wouldn't be here if not me. So the Rebbe explains and he says, the reason why God says, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am God, your God, that took you out of the land of Egypt, is because God wanted to teach us a very important and profound lesson. And that is as follows. As we know, it says in the Talmud, Tractate Psachim, every single generation, B'chol dor v'dor, Chayav Adam lirois es atzmai ki'ilu hu yatzim Mitzrayim. In every generation, one has to envision himself, and as the Alter Rebbe explains, B'chol yom v'yom, every single day, as if today he is going out of Egypt. The question is, going out of Egypt, going out of exile, I'm in exile. I don't see the Messiah. But the Rebbe explains and he says, that is why it says, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am God, your God, that took you out of the land of Egypt. Who took us out of the land of Egypt? Who was able to take us out of the land of Egypt? The only one is God. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am the God that took you out of the land of Egypt. Not only did I take you out of the land of Egypt, when you were in Egypt, past tense, but in every generation, every single day, God has the power to take us out of the land of Egypt. And if we think and meditate on the fact that God has the power to take us out of the land of Egypt, we have the power to overcome the challenges of exile and to look forward to the redemption. So to respond to the question, what can one do to overcome the feelings of being in exile and where is the way out? When is the Messiah coming? Just think about the commandment that I am God, your God. God is the one that took us out of Egypt. God not only took us out in the past, but in the present, God constantly takes us out of Egypt. If we only turn to God, God will be there for us and take us out of our exile and bring us to the ultimate redemption with the coming of Messiah speedily in our days. This week's Torah portion is dedicated to the memory of Eliyahu Ephraim ben Yosef. May his Nechamie have an aliyah for the Torah that we're studying in his memory. Thanks for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. Please join us for our live classes at Chabad. Thursday morning, Nechamie gives a Parsha class at 11 o'clock. Thursday evening, we have teachings in the Kabbalah at 7 o'clock. Shabbos morning, we have Kabbalah class at 9 o'clock, followed by davening and farbrengen. Shavua Tov, and have a great week.
It's Steinomite.